Hello everyone. This is the presentation from Space Junior College, which is one of the finest college in Anantapur district in a small town Kadiri, which is near to Kumaravanlapalli. And our beloved principal is Srimati G.S. Sarita Prashant Garu and myself Rubina Faraz, lecturer in botany. Today I am going to discuss with you about bacteria. Basically, this bacteria is a type of living organism which comes under the kingdom Monera. Most of the bacteria are very small in size and these are too small to be seen with the naked eye. That means they are very tiny organisms. This can be seen only with the help of an instrument called the microscope. Such tiny organism we can call it as microorganisms or microbes. Now the question is, who discovered this bacteria means in 1674 Mr. Anton von Leeuwenhoek. He is a Dutch merchant and he is commonly known as the father of microbiology, and we can say that he is the first man who discovered this bacteria. How means he made a small handheld instrument called the microscope by which he discovered a world of creature and he called them as animal clues. He found them in pond water, in soil particles, blood cells, yeast cells, sperm cells and his teeth scabbings, etc. Here you can see the microscope which is made by Leeuwenhoek. It can be magnified small objects into several hundred times. And the next, for the publication, whatever the creatures he discovered with the microscope, he sent the detailed drawings to the Royal Society of London in 1674. We can say that those creatures were the first representations of bacteria and protozoa. Here you can see the right side. Those are the microscopic observations by Leeuwenhoek. He observed certain things in white blood cells, red blood cells, yeast cells, sperm cells and bacterial cells. So these observation drawings he sent to Royal Society of London for the publication. After that, Ehrenberg came in 1829. He coined the term bacteria for these microscopic creatures. After Ehrenberg, Louis Pasteur came and he did complete research work on bacteria in 1850. For this research work, he regarded as the father of bacteriology. And next, in 1870, Robert Koch experiments established a link to infectious disease, that is the germ theory disease. That theory states that certain microorganisms can lead some infectious diseases like cholera, anthrax and tuberculosis, etc. So this is about the history behind the bacteria. Now coming to the introduction, the bacteria was the first forms of life to appear on earth about 4 billion years ago. And as you know everyone, bacteria are unicellular prokaryotic microscopic organism, which means they are single celled organism. And you know very well, prokaryotic organism do not have any distinct nucleus or any other membrane bound organelle like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies are completely absent in prokaryotic organism. And another important thing is the study of bacteria is known as the bacteriology, which is a branch of microbiology. Now coming to the size of the bacteria, it ranges from 2.0 to 5.0 micrometer in length and 0.5 to 1.0 micrometer in breadth. Now where does this bacteria will be found means it can be found everywhere on this earth. It will be found in the soil, it will be found on the surface of the rocks and the water we drink and the water and the air we breathe, the food we eat, in your hands, everywhere it will be found. And some bacteria can live in extreme cold, heat and drought conditions also. And some bacteria also live in symbiotic and parasitic relationships with plants, animals and human beings. For example, here you can see the Salmonella typhimurium, Xanthomonas oryzae, Rhizobium leguminosarum, Escherichia coli. Those bacteria live in symbiotic and parasitic relationships with plants, animals and human beings. Now coming to the shapes of the bacteria, basically bacteria can be appear in different shapes like cocci, bacillus, spirillum, vibrio and spirochete. Coming to the first shape, that is coccus, which appears like a spherical shape, which means a round shape. Here you can see the right side, those are the different shapes of coccus. If it is only one cell, we can call it as monococcus. If it is occur in pairs, we can call it as diplococcus or diplococci. If it is occur in four group of cells, we can call it as a tetracoccus. And another shape is the sarcina. Normally, if 8 cells together appear like a cubic shape, that is we can call it as a sarcina. Streptococcus is a chain-like structure of bacteria. Staphylococcus is like a grape-like or a cluster shape, and these are the different shape of coccus bacteria. Coming to the another shape, that is bacillus. Basically it is a rod shaped bacteria. In same way like coccus bacteria, these bacillus forms also exist as monobacillus, diplobacillus and streptobacillus. And another shape is spirillum. It is a spiral shaped bacteria. Vibrio is appears like a comma shaped bacteria. Pleomorphic also is a type of bacteria which can change its shape depending upon the environmental condition. For example, Acetobacter species. Spirochete also a type of bacteria which appears like long, slender and screw-shaped bacteria. So here you can see different shapes of bacteria, that is coccus, bacillus, vibrio, spirillum, spirocheta. This is regarding about the bacterial shape. Next thing, if you look at the structure of a prokaryotic cell under the electron microscope, first of all you will observe the different parts here like capsule, cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm, ribosome, nucleate, flagella, etc. Now we will see these all things in detail one by one. The first one is capsule, which is the outer layer. Basically it is a loose slime layer having polysaccharides and some proteins. There you can see the right side a thin jelly like layer in yellow color, that is the capsule. The main function of this capsule is it will help to attach the surfaces and it will protect the cell from the loss of nutrients and water desiccation. Next important thing is the cell wall, which is present below the capsule. You may see here the green layer, that is the cell wall, which is the outermost layer which contains 2 to several layers of peptidoglycan. It gives the protection to the cell, that means it maintains overall shape to the bacterial cell, and also it will maintain the osmotic integrity of the cell. And another thing is cell membrane, and we can call it as plasma membrane also. It is present inside the cell wall which contains lipoprotein substances. It is useful in osmoregulation to maintain the turgidity, and it will act as semi-permeable membrane. And another important thing is in some bacteria this plasma membrane shows some foldings inside the cytoplasm. Those foldings we can call it as mesosomes. Here you can see the red circuit, that is the mesosome, which is useful in binary fission and chromosome replication. What is binary fission and chromosome replication we will discuss later in bacteria reproduction. Coming to the another important thing, which is a fluid like substance called the cytoplasm, which contains inorganic and organic compounds. Here you will see the yellow substance, that is the cytoplasm. Inside the cytoplasm you will see the 70S ribosome. It may be occur single or in groups called the polyribosome, which are very helpful in protein synthesis. And also you will find reserve food material inside the cytoplasm, which is present in the form of glycogen or polybeta hydroxybutyrate. Here you can see the reserve food material which is present inside the cytoplasm in purple color. And next thing is nucleoid. Already we have discussed that prokaryotic cell is a single cell organism which do not have any distinct nucleus or any membrane-bound organelle. We can say that clear nucleus is absent in prokaryotic cell. Instead of nucleus, this bacterial cell contains a single chromosome having circular double-stranded DNA is called nucleoid or genophore. Genophore means nothing but it is a genetic material, that is DNA. In this DNA, histone protein is absent. Here you can see the thread-like structure in red color, that is the nucleoid or genophore. In addition to genophore, certain bacteria contain circular self-replicating naked double-stranded DNA in the cytoplasm are called the plasmid. They are useful in genetic engineering, that is the rDNA technology. We can say that this plasmid have the ability to transfer the genes to other cells. And next, if you observe the outer surface of the bacterial cell, you will see long thread-like filaments which arises from the basal granule of the bacteria. Those long thread-like filaments we can call it as flagella, which is made up with the flagellin protein. These filaments are very useful for the movement of the bacteria. Mostly this will be present in Bacillus and Spirillum bacteria. According to the arrangement of flagella, bacteria are classified into four types. They are monotrichous, lophotrichous, amphitrichous, and peritrichous. Coming to the first one, that is the monotrichous. If single polar flagellum is present at one end of the bacterial cell, we can call it as monotrichous bacteria. Lophotrichous means many flagella are present at one side of the bacteria, called the lophotrichous bacteria. Amphitrichous means if a single flagellum present at both sides of the bacteria, that is we can call it as amphitrichous bacteria. And next one is the peritrichous. In these type of bacteria, flagella are distributed all over the surface. Those type of bacteria we can call it as peritrichous bacteria. Here you can see the flagella types. They are monotrichous, lophotrichous, amphitrichous and peritrichous flagella. And also you will observe small hair-like structures on the surface of the bacteria, that is pili or fimbriae, or we can also call it as sex pillars. They are formed of protein called pilin. Its size is about 0.5 micrometer in length. These are very useful to attach to the solid surfaces such as rocks, in water and host tissue. And also during the conjugation it will be formed as conjugational tube. Through this conjugational tube it will transfer the plasmid one cell to another bacterial cell. So this is the basic structure about the prokaryotic cell. Next, according to the stain color, bacteria are classified into two types. They are gram positive bacteria and gram negative bacteria. Now the question is, how can we identify the gram positive and gram negative bacteria? Means gram positive bacteria have thick cell wall which appears in blue, purple or violet color. For example, Streptococcus bacteria. Gram negative bacteria have a thin cell wall which appears in red or pink color. For example, Escherichia coli. So this is regarding about the basic structure of a prokaryotic cell. In the next class we will discuss about the nutrition in bacteria. Have a nice day. Thank you.